Imagine being finger banged by Kevin Owens. And we're starting this week's WTF Moments from WWE Smackdown Live with a bit of a shock because AJ Styles did something that we haven't seen in over 1 million years of history of wrestling. He saw somebody cutting a promo on his arse down the middle of the ramp and he realised that you can leave the ring, it's not some sort of weird prison, and he waltzed down that ramp and kicked the poo out of the person who was cutting the promo on his sorry arse. Who would have thunk it, eh? What do you think clicked inside the heat of that hairy lesbian for him to think, oh, I can just leave this ring and shut Kevin Owens up instead of taking what he's saying and going, oh, I don't agree with you there, no. AJ Styles there, breaking boundaries for every other grappler doing the graps. Amazing. It's John O'Clock, motherfuckers. Haha! Yes, John reverted back to his old bastard bullying ways after a supposed 2-week face turn because, you know, a bully doesn't change its spots. He claims that everyone hates Sami Zayn, just like when he was on Twitter a few weeks ago, he claimed that everyone hates Justin Roberts. As we all know, because we see countless things backstage, not everybody hates Sami Zayn. Finlay and Dolph Ziggler and people of that ilk all plugging Justin Roberts book to book that not everyone hated Justin Roberts like JBL claimed on Twitter they did back in day. So him saying they hate Sammy and him saying they hate Justin, and that being completely disproven by many things at the WTF moment, you big bullying bastard. Fire JBL. If there's one thing we've learned about Becky Lynch on WWE's main roster, it's that she's Irish. Another thing that we've learned about Becky Lynch on WWE's main roster is that she kept getting turned on by all of her pals. We've seen Charlotte, we've seen Sasha, we've seen a whole bunch of lassies all turning on Becky Lynch. Yet, when the welcoming committee walk up and go, it appears that Becky is being easily manipulated once again. You'd think that a lady who's been through all the hardship she's been through in terms of keeping friends and whatnot on the main roster, that Becky Lynch would be a bit less naive when being clearly manipulated by a bunch of heels. So after this backstage interaction, it was clear for all of us to see that Becky Lynch is slowly turning into Sting. Here is what Becky Lynch would look like if she was turning into Sting. But as we got deeper into this week's WWE Smackdown Live, it was proven that Becky isn't as naive as she used to be, like an Irish little Sting. She didn't put all of her lucky charms into the basket with the welcoming committee. As later in the show, she got the welcoming committee's offer and shoved it straight up the Cadbury alley. Good on you, Becky, for not being a feckin' idiot. WWE superstar in watching television normally like a normal human being, shock. Employee with no shoes on, with no shoes in the workplace, shock. But seriously though, a double-headed WTF moment involving Dolph Ziggler watching a television like a normal human being and a lady wearing no shoes for no reason whatsoever. She can count her lucky charms given to her by Becky Lynch that Gene Snitsky wasn't backstage. And if you don't get that reference, Gene Snitsky used to like feet, like Plumpy likes dogs. Ha ha ha! Dog nuts. Ooh, let's try and balance this. Wouldn't want to break it. Oh, whoops! Die, John! Die! It's John O'Clock, everybody! Oh, I just killed him. That was a bit sinister, wasn't it? I don't wish death upon JB. I'll just wish, he would get some form of comeuppance for the obvious bullying that he's been doing backstage. Social justice warrior King Ross. But John, this time, he claimed that if Jinder Mahal did what he did on Sunday at Payback at Backlash, that he would become the new WWE champion. As the picture shows there, if he allows the Singh Brothers to attack Randy Orton, no, Randy Orton, he's not a cinema. If he allowed them to attack Randy Orton in full sight of the referee like they did there, he would be disqualified. Randy would win the match by TQ. Randy would leave with the belt. Jinder would leave empty-handed, but with full hands of Singh Brothers bollocks. Jingle me balls. Next we move on to Wade in English and his funny looking nipples and the moment that he shouted at Ty Dillinger, nobody interrupts the artiste. Now I don't know about you, but because I'm a second sexual wankfest, and I'm going to be calling gimmick infringement here, even though I shouldn't be calling gimmick infringement here, because it shouldn't be a gimmick for Aiden English to infringe on. As we all know, because WWE are controlling bastard, they have to have the hand up Shinsuke Nakamura's Cadbury Alley and mess around with his insides. They've messed with his gimmick, as we all know. He's no longer just the king of strong style, he is now the artist. The artiste, the artist, potato, banana, banana. It's the same bloody thing to me. Aiden English shouldn't be calling himself the artiste because Shinsuke Nakamura is WWE's chosen artist. Shinsuke Nakamura is WWE's chosen Michael Jackson tribute band with a nickname given to him that would be more fitting for a Prince tribute band because Prince was called the artist for a very long time. That's by the by though. Aiden English should stick to being the drama king. Shinsuke Nakamura should be allowed to stick to being the king of strong style. Lot of kings, but not as good as this one. Ha ha ha! Well, slap my arse and call me cynical, but Aiden English's new gimmick of being a pure massive crybaby is clearly a stab at Mauro Ranallo, isn't it? Even though we can see he is clearly in the right, WWE has painted Mauro as an unprofessional son of a gun since the whole thing with JBL kicked off many moons ago. You know why? Here's why. Because they're petty and vindictive and have a long old track record of doing as such back in the day. So many people have wronged them in their eyes, and they have sought their revenge by besmirching them on WWE television after that person has left. This is another example of that. That's why. Chris Jericho saying there's no crying on Smack Diddly Down, then putting Aiden on the list, coupled with JBL saying he'd love to see bloody Byron Saxton crying like Aiden was, just screams to me, and hopefully to you, that this is a big old stab in the direction of Mauro Ranallo. How about they just leave the bloke alone? He's clearly been wronged, but you still want to stick the bastard knife in, you set of petty vindictive bastards. Tom Phillips claiming that last week on WWE Smack Diddly Down that Naomi challenged Naomi for the WWE Smack Diddly Down Women's Championship. Well, he certainly faced the shit out of that one. But as long as that's the only thing he faced the shit out of, we'll all be okay. Sticking with Tom Phillips, and he faced the shit out of another thing when he claimed that Sin Cara got kicked in the face. As we all know, Sin Cara is quite literally Spanish for faceless. So how do you get kicked in the face when you don't have a face to begin with? And while we're talking about hypothetical questions, how much wood could a Kevin Dunn chuck if a Kevin Dunn could chuck wood? And why is Pluto treated like a dog when Goofy is treated like a human? Now, for any of you that watched yesterday's WTF Moments for WWE Raw, you will know this is a direct copy from a quote on that one. So we're here with the same answer once again. It's because you're a massive cock, Enzo! A super kick winning a match in 2017. The end is nigh, the end is nigh. F***ing run away, the end is nigh, bye. 4 weeks to surpass Emelina's hype gimmick ting, which Lana has undoubtedly been given here. 13. Come back next week to see more of this hashtag, which I cannot bloody remember for the life of us. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men. Squared. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men. ×2. Vincent Kennedy McMahon likes big sweaty men in sign form twice over. There was a sign at last night's WWE Smackdown Live that read, Kenny Omega is Smackdown Live. And because I don't like the Japanese graps, because I'm not a hipster, I'm very much mainstream, I don't know how to make this funny. All I've got to say is, no he isn't. Now, I don't know how to deal with this because I'm a very immature man, but there was a sign at WWE Smackdown Live this week that said, Kiss me, Randy, it's my sweet 16. Whoa. Bit jailbaity, don't you think? Bit, you know, bit dodgy. Unless, of course, this young lady was working undercover and trying to out a global icon and a national treasure like Randy Orton as a big old bloody nonce. Why don't you take a seat there, Randy? Why don't you take a seat over there? Puppies and dog nonce! Yay!
This Friday, the Mexican qualifier of the Pro Wrestling World Cup will be uploaded for free to WhatCulture Wrestling, and it's a night crammed with lucha mayhem and brutal action. On the card are 6 matches featuring 8 of the finest luchadors on planet Earth. The first round matches pit Penta El Zero Miedo against Rey Fenix, Juventud Guerrera against El Hijo de Dos Caras, Drago against El Ligero, and Rey Mysterio against Alberto El Patron. The winners of those matches will face each other in the semis to determine which 2 men go on to the World Cup finals in August. Not only that, but Primate faces off against Scotty Wainwright in a hardcore match. Rampage squares off against the Kiwi buzzsaw Travis Banks. Drew Galloway wrestles his last match on the indie circuit against Cody Rhodes. And finally, new WCPW champion Martin Kirby will be in action, and we can confirm the belt will be on the line. The show streams in its entirety and for free on the WhatCulture Wrestling YouTube channel this Friday at 7 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. Eastern, before being uploaded in full to the channel. You do not want to miss this.